Hello, children. How are you? I am your English teacher, teaching of English. Today, we are all here to know the story Heavenly Parasol. Previous class, you already completed second para. Now, I will teach the third para. Keep the fingers below the line and understand the lesson. The couple moved forward to seek the king's blessings. As the king stepped down from his throne, the priest cried out in surprise, "Your Honor, the parasol of Varuna has cast its shadow over the prince." Here, the couple is said to Meghavana and Amritaprabha moved towards the king to take his blessings. The priest cried out in surprise, saying that the parasol of Varuna had cast his shadow over the prince. Fourth para. "It is true," exclaimed the king, "my son, you are favored by the gods." Fifth para. Meghavahana looked up in surprise, wondering at the meaning of these words. All at once he saw by his side a beautiful, dazzling white parasol with exquisite decorations that was casting its shadow over him. The king also noticed it and said to Meghavahana that he was favored by the gods. Meghavahana saw by his side a beautiful, dazzling white parasol with exquisite decorations that was casting its shadow over him. "This is the parasol of Varuna, the Lord of Seas," explained the king. "It casts its shadow on none else but a sovereign of the whole world. You are destined for a glory and brilliance." Dazed by these portents and by his good fortune, Meghavahana brought his bride and the divine parasol back home. Upon his return, the minister of the Kashmir court sought him out and offered the throne to him. "We are dissatisfied with our present rulers," they said. "He has devoted himself to a life of prayer, and the affairs of the kingdom lie neglected. The people suffer because of this. Your noble character and bravery are well known in these parts. Honor us and the land by accepting our offer." The king explained that it was the parasol of Varuna, the god of seas, and it cast its shadow only on a sovereign of the whole world. The king was sure that Meghavahana was destined to become great and famous. Meghavahana was happy with the good omens. He returned home with Amritaprabha and the heavenly parasol. The then ruler of Kashmir had taken to a life of prayer and neglected to the affairs of the kingdom. The ministers requested Meghavahana to become their king, for he was brave, famous, and good natured. Meghavahana accepted their offer and became the king. Ninth para. Meghavahana became the king of Kashmir. Soon he proclaimed a law against the killing of living beings. It became his ambition to conquer other kingdoms to impose this law on them as well. Once, while on an expedition near the sea, the king told his very army to rest in the shade of some palm groves. "I must use this time to plan a way to conquer the island of Lanka." He thought, "It is the land of demons and needs to be taught the ways of peace. But how will I cross the great seas with my army?" All of a sudden there was a cry in the air. It seemed to come from a wood by some shore, not far from where the royal horses were tethered. The cry came again, and the king heard the plaintive call, "Even under Meghavahana's rule, I have been slain." In his agitation, the king did not wait to summon his offers but ran towards the wood. Plunging through the undergrowth, he fought his way till he came to a clearing. There, before him, was a temple of Chandika with some sort of human sacrifice in progress. On the steps, a man lay on the ground, his arms raised for mercy, and a menacing looking barbarian stood over him, brandishing his sword. Explaining the paragraph, Meghavahana passed a law against the killing of living beings in his kingdom. His ambition was to conquer other kingdoms and impose that law on them also. He set out to fulfill his ambition. Once he was resting near the sea in the shade of palm groves with his army. He thought of conquering the island of Lanka and teach the demons the peaceful ways of life. But he did not know how to cross the sea with his army. All of a sudden, he heard a cry in the air and a call which said even under the rule of Meghavahana, he was being killed. It seemed to come from a wood nearby. Meghavahana was agitated. He ran towards the wood. He came to near a Durga temple and saw some sort of human sacrifice in progress on the steps of temple. He found a man pleading for mercy and barbarian standing over him with a raised sword. In the next class, how did Meghavana rescue both the victim and the barbarian's sons? To be continued. Thank you.